Hello everyone, welcome back to Paper Therapy with Amy. You see I have on my desk here today a layout that I was working on. This is from an aquarium we went to in Hawaii, and I'll tell you a bit more about that later. But this is something I saw on Pinterest that you've probably seen before if you've ever been on Pinterest, and it's when you separate your grid onto your 2 sheets of paper and have your 9 photos in the middle, and then you have kind of these playful ones on the sides. And then this is where you put embellishment clusters and titles and stuff. I liked it, but I have D-ring albums, so my layouts are laying about this far apart, maybe a little less. So I don't love how it doesn't seem as like a 9 square grid as contained as it would if it was on one page. I prefer that. So while I like it, it's better in your postbound albums. So I thought, well, maybe I can rearrange this so I like it better. So everybody always asks me where I get my ideas or what makes me decide what to do what I do. And so I'm going to try with this particular layout to kind of explain that even more than I usually do. So this is a 4x6 photo here, and these are 3x3s. So I might have to trim them down a tiny bit to get the white space in between, but I can definitely fit them like that. And then I can go up the side. So I'm looking to contain this all in one area. So that's what I'm attempting to do here. So if I put another photo here, it's going to be too tall. So I started out like this, and I thought, okay, I'll try this. Put these 2 little guys down here. So I've got a grid going now. And this one, of course, and I thought, well, I could take pictures off. That's a possibility. But I thought, well, what if I make it taller, and then there's certain pictures that could be trimmed down. Like this one here I want, because I have a story behind it, and I'll let you know that story after, but I could definitely trim it down because there's like a reflection up here. So I'm thinking, what if it could go, oh, come on. Maybe not in this spot because it's facing this way, but possibly. Let's just, so I'd cut it narrower so it fits there. And then I could maybe, this one could be cut narrower, but so could this one. So I could actually really do both of these a little bit. Or I could do 2 that I'm willing to trim off a little bit down here as well to make a bit of a bigger title space here. So this one here could definitely have some of the top taken off, right? And then I'm going to move this in here. And then so I'm thinking, now I have, it's not perfectly straight, but now I have a spot for journaling here and embellishing, and a spot for a title here and embellishing, especially if I trim these a little bit shorter, which can be done. I might choose different pictures to put in here, but I definitely could take a little bit off of these and bring this down just a touch more so that I have a little bit more room up here. So this configuration I like better, and when I pull it apart, I still see the continuation, especially when I add lines going this way to bring it together. So I think I prefer this. And usually I don't worry too much about what it looks like in the album because you can kind of hold the pages together when you're looking through the album too. But I don't know, something was really bothering me about that space that was going to be in that 4 square. So I like this a lot better. So I think I'm going to go with this configuration. So once I have a configuration, then I start to think about colors. So I pull colors that I think match. So I don't have much of Close to My Heart's old wisteria, but I do have some. And that's this one here, and it kind of goes with my seahorse and some of the backgrounds. So that's an option. And then I have some more colors here. I have, this is an old color. I think it's grape. This is sapphire. This is yellow. It might be canary. I'm not sure which yellow it is, but I do struggle a little bit with yellow. I know there's a lot of yellow fish in here and a lot of yellow highlights. So I may try and add some yellow highlights, but I think I would be very sparing with the yellow because I prefer these colors a lot more. I think the purples I like the brighter purple too, even though it's not distinctly in here. There's some hints of it in here. And so I think it could really look pretty together, these ones. And I really like a monochromatic. This isn't completely monochromatic, but I like this palette better than if I add this in. This really, maybe like very sparingly, but I'll think about that a little bit more. But just because there's yellow in the pictures doesn't mean I have to add yellow. Like, they can just kind of pop out themselves, right? So I found this sheet. This is a sheet in Seaside I'm thinking of. This is basically sapphire. You can see here it's very close to sapphire. I'm not sure what color this is, but it's a Stampin' Up! Sheet of paper, and it's from the Winter Meadows paper pack. So this is the one side and this is the other side. And I think this kind of looks like water to me, so I think that would work really well. Then I have in my wisteria paper on the back side, I have what kind of looks like water to me as well. This is from Dreamcatcher, I think. We had cardstock pieces that had kind of this design on the back. And then I actually have this as well, which is also kind of a watery look. So I'm thinking, like, I first pull the cardstocks, but once I've pulled the cardstock and I'm like, okay, these are the colors that I think I'm gonna look for, then I start to try to find the paper packs. And I'd like to tell you that I have all of my paper packs cataloged, but I don't. So I just start to think in my mind, I think that paper pack had this color. So another paper pack I pulled was this one, because it definitely has some matching colors and I could possibly use some of these embellishments. So I've got this one in my back pocket if I need it. And then I'm going to show you my Stampin' Up! Sets that I have that are like ocean themed. This is what I bought. I was actually in Hawaii when we transferred over to Stampin' Up! So I really went, like, because I had this Hawaii trip planned and we had been on another ocean trip, I really thought, oh, these I'll really use, and I just really love them. This one also comes with an embossing, a 3D embossing folder, so it cuts out and embosses in a 3D manner so that you have different layers. I'll show you once I get some made. So these are really awesome, and they all have thin cuts as well. There's a thin cut that goes into this embossing folder, and then there's some thin cuts in here of, this one I don't think comes with this one. I think it comes with the Beauty of the Deep, this one. It's just that I can't fit them all in Beauty of the Deep, so I put some in here. And then these starfish, which are kind of a fun shape to work with. I really like these as well. I'll link my turtle layout at the end of this video so that you can watch that one. I used a lot of these, and I used the turtle stamp set here. But I don't think I'll be using this one this time. I think I'm going to focus on having some coral, because there's a lot of coral in the picture. That is my plan for that. And then I have I've pulled a couple of sets from Close to My Heart for my stash. I have this one. I'm not sure I'm going to use this one. Maybe if I need some of these leaves or whatever. This one I want to use for sure, because as you can see, and I've been excited about this, I actually ordered this stamp set when Close to My Heart was closing. I ordered this stamp set on clearance, and I was really excited because it was the same day I saw this actual seahorse. Look at that. Like, could that be any better? So I'm excited about that. So I'm definitely going to be using, for sure, the seahorse, maybe some shells. Okay, I matted my photos so that I can pick them up as one unit, and I decided to go with Glacier cardstock. And now I think I want to do a frame style layout. So I've been thinking about what I want behind here. So I tried this, and I do really like that. But I also really liked the purple I was working with. So I thought, what if I try a little bit of purple on the far outside? And I do really like that too. I think it brings out some of the purples in some of the pictures, and it gives me another color to work with when I, like, my plan is to do my coral and decorating on the white. So then I got to thinking about this paper, which I have already gutted out, you can see. And I thought, what if I used this for my outside trim rather than just straight Glacier cardstock? So let's just take a look at that. And I really like that. I really like the double frame that just kind of brings everything to the middle, and then I can embellish and put my title in around that. So I just used a complete, I have so much of this purple paper, and you know, close to my heart is no more, so time to use it up. So here we go. I have that, and then I need a piece of white. So I've trimmed down this piece of white and inked around it. Let's just see. There we go. Like that, and then like that. So that one's just framed perfectly, and then this one's going to give me some more space on this side to do some of that decorating. So here is the base layout. I really like how this brings out the blues in here, and now I'm going to work on the background of this white paper. I want to do some splatters and stamping of some of that coral. So I'm going to bring in all-purpose mat. This is not put together yet, so I can work on this white paper. I wanted to create my own background on this white paper, so I started off by using some cracked sapphire distress oxide, smearing it on my all-purpose mat, adding a little water to it, and then just dipping the paper in it until I had the effect I was looking for. After that, I dried my paper thoroughly, and then once I clean up here, I'm going to start creating a background with my coral stamps. So I'm going to start with this large piece of coral, and I'm going to stamp it in the pomegranate, I think it's pomegranate, from the distress oxide. The distress oxides are nice for layering, and I only have a few, but they were the right colors, so I decided to use them. I realized here that I did not need an upside down Versamat for the foam underneath my paper here, because it's actually better with cling stamps to have a firm surface underneath. So I took that out of there, and I'm just turning this stamp back and forth using different areas of it so that it doesn't look like it's being repeated, and giving some movement to the layout. And after that, I'm going to move on to the next stamp I'm adding to my background, which is that long kind of leafy plant, underwater plant. So I'm going to add that one in as well. And I'm going to use, I think this is the peeled paint color. So I just kind of add that here and there, and I do this to both sides. And finally, I'm going to also add a little bit of the cracked sapphire, a few little pieces of coral as well. I think the end result is really pretty. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I ended up not needing a whole lot more or any more paper for this layout, because with all the photos that I've squeezed onto it and the double mat, it really doesn't need, or double frame and then a mat, it really doesn't need anything else. Everything is glued together and I'm ready to embellish. I've got my two seahorses that I colored, and I find that they're kind of fading into the background. So I've decided to try stamping. So I stamped this one in sapphire, and I feel like he pops out a lot better. So I just want to give him some color. I'm just going to use Vintage Blue Blend. And because this is not intense ink, it is more likely to blur when you color it. I'm not too worried about that, because I'm okay with the blue blurring a little bit, the blue outline. But I am going to try not to color too much on the ink where I want it to stay defined, like maybe on his face and stuff. So I do think that this one shows up a little better, and then I can use the purples and the other shades in the background. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to definitely pop it up with pop tape. I need a title and I need a spot for journaling. I am just going to draw some lines in here, I think, but I do want to decorate around those lines first. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use one of these other seahorses or not, but I do want to make the title Under the Sea. So this is an older alphabet. I really liked it. Before I had a lot of thin cut alphabets, I would cut this one out a lot, and I think it's going to look good on here, because I think I'm going to leave it with a blue or black outline, and I'm going to do it on this purple paper. So I'm just using sapphire ink to stamp under and C in this framework alphabet, and then I will fussy cut each one of them out. So through the magic of video editing, you don't have to watch me cut those out because here they are. So I just have to position those at the top. You can see I have a few embellishments kind of tucked here and there, and I'm trying to fit my little seahorse in. It seemed like the best place for him because I didn't want him looking right off the layout on the very side. So a little about these photos. We went to an aquarium right along the beach in Honolulu, Waikiki Beach. I was just showing you that I'm going to stamp the word "the" right in that space. So I have to leave a space there, and then I'm going to have journaling on the bottom right there. So we really enjoyed this little aquarium. It was about 12 bucks to get in, and it was just really neat to see all the little fish and other sea creatures that they had there. And we just had a really great time in this place. And so that one fish that's kind of dead center, it's a really boring, just kind of white fish. My husband was kind of ahead of me and I was taking pictures and stuff. And then I caught up to him and I said, "Oh, I found a fish," and I named him Ryan. And he knew exactly what fish I was talking about. We bug him sometimes about having a big nose. So he knew exactly what fish I was talking about instantly. He's like, "I know what fish you're talking about." So I had to get that picture on the layout, even though that fish is not really that exciting as far as fish go. I thought about trying to get more seahorses on the layout because I had colored them, but I really did like the dark blue colored one the best. And then I decided to try it over on the journaling corner, and I really liked that, but I didn't think that the seahorse and picture and the seahorse embellishment should be right beside each other. So you can see here I've flipped the seahorse picture more towards the center of the page, and then I use the seahorse to frame in my journaling, which I really like better. So I'm really happy with how that turned out, and sometimes things change at the very end of a layout and you just go with it. In just a second here, I will bring the layout up for a close-up so you can see all the layers and bits and pieces that I've added to it. I hope you like it as much as I do. And thanks again for stopping by to watch and spend time with me. I certainly enjoy spending this time sharing my layouts with you, and I hope it inspires you to create something beautiful today. So if you haven't hit that thumbs up button, I would love it if you did that, and also subscribe if you haven't done so yet. And I will catch you next time here on YouTube. Bye.